Good evening, folks. Tonight we're going to talk about the quarterback situation at both Ohio State and Michigan. Now, judging by what I saw from both Ohio State and the Michigan points of views at quarterback, I gotta say I was pretty impressed with Ohio State. And I'm gonna say that the passing game was pretty phenomenal. There's a lot of question marks for both teams, considering it was a 50-31 win for the Scarlet team versus the Gray. Ohio State pretty much showed they had what it takes to win games with the passing game, starting with Julian Sayin, who went 17 of 24, one touchdown. They all threw a touchdown. Julian Sayin had one touchdown, went 17 of 24, one touchdown for 175 yards. Keinholz, 12 of 18 for 158 yards, two touchdowns. Then Tavion St. Clair, 11 of 15, two interceptions, one touchdown, and 116 yards. That there just shows you that we got a pretty damn good quarterback room. This is not a weak thing by all means. This was the spring game, let me remind you. And this was for 449 total yards of passing to multiple receivers. And let me remind you, Brandon Ennis and Jeremiah Smith were only out there for a very short length of time. So, but let that be reminded. They were just out there. Now, on the other hand, for Michigan, Jaden Davis and Bryce Underwood were out there. While Davis Warren, who was out there last year, did not play at all today. So, it tells you that I'm not going to play. So, both quarterbacks were intercepted. Bryce Underwood, the top tier player of the supposedly century here at Michigan, and the country for that matter, I was not impressed. He went 12 of 26 with one interception and 187 yards. While Jaden Davis went 6 of 17 with two interceptions for 74 yards. Neither quarterback really was bright for me. Bryce Underwood fumbled once. Now, here's where I'm coming with that. Either Michigan's defense is that good, or Michigan's offense just that terrible. That's the two conclusions I'm coming to here. I don't really know what the answer is to that because I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say hats off. Michigan's got a good squad this year. I'm not going to say they're weak by all means. But I was not impressed with Underwood. I thought Underwood would put up better numbers than that. I mean, when you say you're the top elite quarterback coming out of high school, I expect you to perform up to your standards. You're supposed to play well. You're supposed to be strong, talented. You're supposed to show you what you got out of that. And what I saw did not come out of what I thought I would see. All I saw was a weak passing game. He threw no touchdowns. Actually, let me see here. I stand corrected. He threw one touchdown. My apologies. He threw one touchdown, which was the very last play of the game. There was one rushing touchdown, and literally that last pass was 88 yards. But not a full, not way deep downfield 88 yards. This was like maybe, I'm not sure, like 20 some odd yards or something like that. I can't remember how many. But he had a good decent pass downfield.
Our exclusive interview with top Russian diplomat Sergei Lavrov on a possible Ukraine peace deal. Why should the U.S. believe Russia is serious about ending the war? Plus, a look at
He threw it way downfield. He threw it.
Join me for Face the Nation.
I don't even know how to explain it other than he threw it on a handoff to his running back. His running back came back over and handed it to his wide receiver, and I think his wide receiver fumbled it, and then he quickly picked it up and threw it downfield to this other wide receiver. I don't know. There's just so much questions there. Jalen Hoffman, actually it's tight end Jalen Hoffman, who caught it, but it was like 12, maybe 20 yards, 12 to 20 yards past the line of scrimmage. But that there was like light coverage / busted coverage, whatever you want to call it. That was like literally busted coverage. You watch the replays on like, just type in Michigan spring game, 88-yard drive, touchdown pass, you'll see what I'm talking about. It literally looked like, it was like supposed to be a double flea flicker, but it looked like he fumbled on the, when the one went to run, it looked like he fumbled it. It looked like a busted play in the backfield and busted coverage downfield. Couple of busted coverage plays. So, I don't even think that was even meant to be a pass. So, I don't know. I mean, there's so many question marks in that whole entire playbook there. But even still, Bryce Underwood managed to make a play out of it, despite that being a failure. So, it could have been a failed operation on both the Michigan defense on that play there. But, I don't know. I still gotta say hats off to Michigan defense for the Mays team for coming up and actually proving that they got what it takes to come away with a good win. But on the flip side of that, they failed to really capitalize on really anything big and try to put any big points up on the board when it really mattered. Ohio State, on the other hand, they capitalized on a lot of things. They capitalized on turnovers. They capitalized, and they couldn't capitalize on turnovers. Everything went downfield, and they could not capitalize on that. A field goal attempt, they failed. Every field goal. Now, Tavion St. Clair, I don't know. I've yet to see how this even works for Ohio State. I think he'll stick around. But I don't know. I mean, the transfer portal's already officially closed, so no one can now enter the transfer portal for any team. The transfer portal is officially closed. So the players who are in the transfer portal that have not transferred yet can start looking for teams right now. If you haven't entered the transfer portal, you're lost. You have to stick with that team another year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Keinholz sticks around this year, after this year. Now, who knows if he'll get the start next year, because I'm not sure if Sayin will stick around. He might go pro after this year. I don't know. If he doesn't go pro, then I see Keinholz hitting the portal. But I can see St. Clair sitting out another year behind Keinholz, and then Keinholz finishing out his senior year at Ohio State, and then St. Clair moving on. Then St. Clair getting the quarterback starting position at quarterback, and then, well, he's the number 2 player in the country, the second highest ranked prospect in the whole entire country. So that there tells you 2 high-rated quarterbacks in the whole entire country. So it's either Keinholz or St. Clair who will be the starter next year if Julian Sayin moves on from here, depending if Sayin is the quarterback. Now, I don't know. I mean, St. Clair, he was pretty accurate on literally all of his passes. But just because you had a bad start doesn't mean you shouldn't be a good quarterback. I mean, next year's also going to be a big one if Julian Sayin does not move on. This year will be a thing to see out of Julian Sayin. I look forward to Julian Sayin playing a very lights-out kind of game with everyone. I don't think there will be a team out there that will be out for revenge, unlike Julian Sayin, because he's played with lots of strength. I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln Keinholz probably transfers northward or some, not to Michigan or any of the Michigans, but probably to like some other school. But who knows? I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But passing wise, Keinholz was pretty much on fire going downfield, while Underwood was overthrowing his players. Sayin was more on target, deep downfield. So if you want to go for a deep fielder, Sayin is your man. So that's literally how I look at it. Now St. Clair, on the other hand, he can throw pretty. From what I saw to St. Clair, he threw pretty good for Ohio State. Now Keenan, from my understanding, never saw the field for Michigan, even though he transferred out of. I can't remember where he transferred from, but he transferred from another team, but he didn't see any playing time. He was a starting quarterback for some team that Michigan played last year, but he didn't really. I don't see him playing any time at Michigan. I think he's got maybe 2 years left, and he won't play. And same with the Herb Street kid. He won't see any playing time at Michigan either, and neither one of those kids will see any playing time at Michigan. They'll both transfer, probably. Herb Street especially. He'll hit the portal. Herb Street will hit the portal, so will that guy. I don't see anyone. I don't see Herb Street sticking around up there. He'll hit the portal and go elsewhere. His son played at Ohio State for a little bit. Then he had a heart problem, and he retired and just stuck with Ohio State his senior year and got his degree, and pretty much got what he wanted. It's a pretty good thing out of what you look at. I mean, that passing is what really matters. I mean, plus their running game. I mean, look at Keinholz ran. He had like 2 carries for 6 yards. St. Clair is one of those who can run. He had 5 carries for 16 yards. Sayin never really ran the ball. He pretty much was protected pretty well. They protected him really well, so it's not like they really had anything to worry about. The offensive line did really well. So now we can hope the defense actually does step up to the plate and actually play like they really want to win. So with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out here. Peace.